Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a collab with Manders Beauties. Her channel name and the link to her video will be down below. We each picked 5 of our palettes. So I picked 5 palettes and then, sent her a picture, and she chose one for me to use to do a look with. So she picked the Game of Thrones palette. I had this palette, the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner, the Too Faced, the really big anniversary palette, a smaller palette from Lime Crime, my Alien palette, and then this one. So this is the one that she picked. It's big, and this is only the second time that I've used it. So I included palettes that I either haven't used a whole bunch or that I really, really like, and I haven't used them in a long time. So this is the finished look. So if you want to see how I got this, then you'll need to keep on watching. But yeah, I was really, really excited to do another collab with her. I wanted to do a snack exchange, but it's like 115 here right now. So if she was to send me chocolate, a lot of stuff would melt. So hopefully we can do that in the winter, but I thought this would be a fun video to do together in the meantime. So definitely make sure you check out her video, because she picked obviously 5 different palettes, because we don't own the same palettes. So I mean, some of them we do probably have that are the same, but anyway, she picked 5 different ones and I chose one for her to do a look. So you'll definitely want to check that out. But yeah, if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. So this is the finished look. So I'm gonna do my best to remember what I just did. I'm gonna prime my eye. I'm trying to make sure. I think that one's stuck about as good as it's gonna be. Okay, so I'm just using my MAC paint pot. I'm gonna come in here. Since I got my nails done, had them done longer, I think I could still get my finger in here, but as time progresses, it's gonna get harder. So I'm like, let me just get in the habit of using a brush now. I probably should anyway. It's probably a little bit more sanitary than sticking my finger in there like I was doing. Hardest part is like getting that to blend in. Okay, so I'm not going to set it, and I'm going to go in with Namira. So if I pronounce these names wrong, I apologize. And this is just, it's not, if you watch my videos, you know I usually use the Sigma. I think it's the E25. This is just a dough color, like blending brush. It looks very similar to the Sigma. And then I have my color switch down here. Make sure it's clean. So we're going to start off with that shade. There's not a lot of mattes in this palette, and I think that was people's gripe about it. And I think that was some of what people's gripe was with that big Too Faced Anniversary palette, is there's only like 2 or 3 mattes in that palette too. Yeah, this one only has 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, technically 4 if you count the black, even though it's got sparkle in it. That's what I used on the outer corner. Once you start blending it out, the sparkle goes away. So technically there's 4, but there's actually only like 3 true mattes, and that's very much like the Too Faced palette. I don't mind doing all glittery looks. Like I actually contemplated putting the blue in the crease, and then I thought it would look really pretty on the lid, so I ended up changing my mind. But I'm going to go in with House Lannister just to blend that out a little bit. This is just to kind of get the crease going. Okay, and then same brush, I'm going to go into the black, which is Take the Black. And it does, again, have some shimmer in it, but once you get blending it out, I think if you packed it, some of the sparkle would probably stay, maybe. The ColourPop Monochromatic, the black smoky palette, the glittery black in that one, if you pack it, the glitter does stay. This one, like, the glitter barely picks up on it. Like, it's really just one of those where the glitter is just in the pan, which I don't know why brands even do that. It's like, what's the point? Just put a matte black in there at that point. I mean, it looks pretty, so some of it's probably, aesthetic, but In this case, yeah, the glitter does not come off hardly at all. So I'm just going to start blending this out. So I'm just color switching. Just take a little bit more because I want to deepen up the crease, but I don't necessarily want it to scream black all the way through in here. I do appreciate that the palette in this completely pulls out. I think the other issue people had was that it's very bulky with the main packaging where the throne is. So we're going to go back into Namira just on the edge, just to kind of warm that up just a little, just a smidge. Dip in again over in here. And then I'm going to go back, color switching in between into House Lannister into the peach. Yeah, I think between the bulk and then the lack of mattes, I think a lot of people didn't know what to do with this palette. And this is honestly only the second time I've used it. I got it and used it once in the video, and then I never touched it again. So we're going to do Hard Home just on a Jessup Smoky Shader brush, and that's going to go under my brow bone. And it's a very pretty brow bone shade. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of House Lannister just to blend that so there's not like a glitter line running all the way down. And so that's all I did for the outer corner. Like very, very easy. I wanted the blue to be the main focus. So then I'm going to come in with just a little flat. This is a Morphe brush and my NYX glitter glue. And you probably don't necessarily need to use this. I've gotten into the habit with shimmers, especially if I'm going to wear it to work. I just put it down. It makes it last longer. Okay. And then on a flat, I don't know, this is from Alamar Cosmetics. I don't know what the name of the brush is it wore off, but we're going to go into Frozen North, which is the blue, and it's really, really pretty blue. And that's going to go all over the lid. There is a little bit of fallout with this, but it's not a lot. Like, it's not bad. Like, you can see a little bit, but I'll just dust it away at the end here. That's such a pretty blue. Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, I think I kind of want that, because you can use shimmers in the crease. As you start blending them out, they turn into more of a satin, so they don't, that's how I use them in the Too Faced palette. I use a lot of the shimmers in the crease, and you can't, once you get blending them out, they're not as shimmery, obviously. And then we're going to take a little bit of Namira just on the corner here to help blend that in just a tad. And then I think I took, when I was doing the lower lash, I took a tad bit of this Free Folk silver shade and just touched it on the edge. So I'll do that right now, just to add a little bit more sparkle with the blend on the outer edge. Okay, down the same flat brush, down in the corner, we're going to use White Walker, which is a pretty like light duochrome shade, and this is going to go on the inner corner. And we're actually going to take it up onto the lid. It's going to lighten up that blue, and I'm going to take it probably a third of the way up. We're not going to go all the way, but it's just like, it's going to lighten up the blue a tad so that it kind of looks like there's two different blues going on there. And then that's just going to come down in here. Okay, and then on the lower lash line, let me get some of the fallout off. I just use a fluffy brush. Make sure we got it off on both sides. Okay, and then this is a smudger from Shannaby. I got a set in a subscription box. We're going to use Free Folk, which is the silver. And again, this is a pretty shade. This is going to go... I will say that the silver in the ColourPop palette is actually more pigmented than this one. That is a really, if you're looking for a really pigmented silver, that palette has a really, this one's a pretty silver, but That one's definitely more opaque. Like right off the get-go, I'm doing a second layer of this. But yeah, especially for a drugstore, like that's got some intense shimmers in it. And then because this is a slightly like thinner smudger, I'm gonna go back into the black. I'm gonna take it just on the lash line and then just buff that in just on the outer like third. It's just gonna help deepen up the lower lash line just a little bit. And then I took on a blending brush, we'll just use the same one we used in the crease, just a little bit into Mira, just underneath, to kind of help buff that out. Okay, and that is it. And I am going to use the highlighter palette from the Game of Thrones collection because I have it. Let me stick my lash on. I'll do my winged liner and mascara, and then we'll come back and I'll do my highlighter and blush and bronzer, and then we'll be all done. So I got my lashes on, I got mascara. I did do a little bit of just a black Urban Decay pencil in the waterline. It needs to be sharpened badly, so it didn't like, it's not super like dark black, but there's some color in there. So that's what that is. So I'm gonna put this back in here before I mess it up, and we will do, I figured I would do the highlighter on camera just because it's part of the collection and it goes with the look. So this is the highlighter palette, and I'm actually going to use Regal as my bronzer. That's the dark shade in here. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to use, throwing things. Well, I need that blush brush anyway. Okay, this is a Baddington like contour brush. So I'm going to come into Regal and just, I already contoured. I used my milk chocolate from Too Faced, but I like to go in with a shimmery bronzer and blend it out. So this obviously would be a highlighter on a deeper skin tone, but because I'm fair, it works as a shimmery bronzer, which is what I like. I like a matte contour and a shimmery bronzer, which also allows me to utilize the whole palette, because otherwise that shade would not be touched. And then I do highlight before blush. So I'm actually gonna I'm gonna mix Drugun and Vizerin. I'm not pronouncing that. So the gold and the pink, we're gonna mix together here. That's usually how I wear them. It's one of those things where the gold, I can wear the gold and the pink separately, but I'm like right on the edge of the gold being too dark and the pink being too light. So I find with this palette, if I mix them, it's just a better shade for me. And you can see it's pretty, like it's a decent highlight. Not my ideal like shade, but I have them, so I occasionally, and I do just a little bit more pink above the Cupid's bow just so it's not too dark. I'll do some on the chin here. That, the shade that I use for bronzer is very glittery, so it's a very shimmery like look, but I don't mind it. Let me come in with a bigger brush here to blend. It's kind of, that's better. When it's that shimmery, it works better if it's a little bit bigger of a brush. Okay. And then for blush, I didn't pick one out yet because I wasn't sure. Oh, that's not the blush drawer. Let's come in here and let's just use a neutral one. I haven't used this one yet. This is Beauty by Pop Sugar. I got this in a BoxyCharm pop-up. It looks like this. So let's see how this looks. Like I said, I haven't used this yet. I think it's gonna just be a nice, hopefully neutral. I don't know how pigmented this is. It's just a nice, like, I would say pinky neutral color. And it is pigmented. got something on my face right there. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like to do highlighter first and then put my blush on. I feel like it keeps from having like Neapolitan cheeks, or it's like the definite, I'm just gonna put a little bit of blush in the temples, like definite like highlighter, blush, and bronzer, like everything's kind of all blended together and looks. A little bit of blush on my nose. Take a little bit down here. Yeah, that's a pretty shade. Okay, so here we are. Just ignore my hair. It's really hot and I've been doing chores around the house, but this is the finished look. Other than lips, let me go pick out a lipstick and then I'll show you this. Here we are. I mixed, what are you? Cocoa Bite and Good Jujube from Bite Beauty, so it made a little bit pinkier of a nude shade. This was a little bit, because my blush is so pink, this was a little like too nude, so I threw this one in. So this is the finished look. I think it turned out really, really pretty. I picked some palettes that I either haven't used a whole bunch, hadn't used at all, or ones that I really, really liked that I haven't used in a while, because I wanted to, one, see which one she chose, and then this would give me a chance to use something. So I do really like this palette. I just need to use it more. Like I said, I don't have a problem with an all shimmer palette, but I think that was a lot of people's problem with it, was there's only 3 like true mattes in it. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Leave me a comment down below. Also make sure you go check out Manders' channel. I will leave the link for her video down below, and then you can see what palette I chose for her and the look that she did. So yeah, this was really, really fun. And yeah, we're gonna hopefully do another collab in the winter when it cools off. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.